when people talk about everybody playing the same way, blows my mind.
Really?
You cannot convince me that the Boston Celtics, the Atlanta Hawks, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Utah Jazz, the Minnesota Timberwolves all have the same style of basketball.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope y'all are having a good day so far. So I had a couple of requests to check out this video. I don't know the context, but I also got a super thanks of $10 from Adam Lauer to go ahead and share my opinion on this video. So now I'm really intrigued. First of all, thank you very much for the donation. That's so awesome. And yeah, that's a hell of a way to get my attention. So I get a notification on my phone like immediately when this kind of stuff happens. So yeah, let's check it out. First thing I see, and I know you guys can't see it, but you'll see once I show the video. He's got a pair of Jordan 1s in the background, so that's pretty cool. Lots of basketball gear. I see a Jordan poster behind him. Anyways, it's called Dear NBA, and there's not much else for me to say about that in the intro. So let's go ahead and watch this. This is from a channel called Kenny for Real. I got to admit, I've never heard of this channel until now, so I'm interested in this. He's got a ton of subscribers, 685,000. So all right, I've been sleeping under a rock again apparently. All right, everyone. So I'm linking the original video down below in the description if you want to check out his channel or if you want to check out this video on your own. Those who want my input on this, stick around, like the video, and let's get to this.
Can I vent to y'all?
Yep.
Can I rant for a little second? Because right now I'm really, really frustrated about the discourse surrounding our league right now. And the real simple solution to all of this is for me to close my phone. but that's just so much easier said than done. So there's been a lot of conversations around our league, especially since the All-Star break. And listen, I want to say this right here, right now. I love the NBA. I love basketball, but I really, really do love the NBA. But even as a lover of the NBA, a guy that fell in love with the league in 2003, has watched now 21, 22 seasons of the NBA, I understand it is very far from a perfect product. The NBA games start too late compared to the scheduled time.
Hell, man, I've been a lover of the NBA since about 1988, right around there. So I feel you, man. I feel you. All my critique is not coming from a place of hatred. It's coming from a place of love. You know, it's like loving somebody and then seeing them going down a dark path after you've loved them for 40 years or like 30 years. It's hard to watch, you know, and you want to give advice to like, here's how you can fix this. You know, here's how you can get back on the right path. That's what it is. That's what this whole channel is.
There are too many stoppers at play. I can recognize the negative aspects of our lead. Hell, I just dropped a video about All-Star Weekend where I was telling you everything I hated about it. So I am not one of those people that think that everything is perfect. But there are certain conversations that happen about our league that I just truly do not understand. And I feel like people are just repeating the same rhetoric that they heard someone else say and like, yep, that's gotta be it. When the reality is, it's really not. And I think, I'm definitely not taking those shots because these guys are absolute legends. Everybody that I may refer to in this video are absolute legends, done things that I would never be able to accomplish, way more successful and all of that than me. But I think a lot of this stems from some of the people we put on TV to talk about our sport, whether it be the Inside the NBA guys, or whether it be Draymond Green over All-Star Weekend. It feels like we just don't have a selection of on-camera media that says anything positive about the league. Again, this league is very far from not warranting criticism.
What's crazy is that Draymond usually defends the league, but the one time that the league did something that he didn't like, which was the whole All-Star game, you know, the format of it all, he blows up on it. And it's interesting because it was the players' fault that we had to change the format. Nobody likes the format. It was just a way to try to trick the players into actually playing with a little bit of pride and effort. But Draymond don't like that, you know? So he speaks out about it, gave it a 0 out of 10. I'd say that was the best All-Star game we've had in 5 years, even though it was terrible. It's still terrible. It was just less terrible.
You know, give the criticism, but it can't be the only thing that we talk about. It can't be the only thing we talk about. And I think the reason why I'm so frustrated with this, because I started a brand, this is not a plug or anything, Name Enjoy Basketball, because some of these people, or some of the things when I turn on ESPN, or I turn on Fox Sports, or I turn on whatever, I watch these shows, or at least I used to watch these shows, and I'm like, are we watching the same thing? Are we watching this? Where are the people that genuinely love the game? This is the only sport of the major sports, the NFL, the MLB, hockey, hell, soccer, that the past players just look down on the current generation. Hell, even some of the current players is looking down on their peers, which just blows my mind.
I mean, to be fair, even LeBron James recently came out and said, like, yeah, we got to fix the league. We're shooting way too many threes. Even him, but let's be fair. He's closer. He's almost my age. So there's got to be a little part of him that misses classic basketball and the way it used to be played. It's not us talking trash. It's really how we feel. And the viewership numbers are backing that up because we're not being entertained to watch more than 12 minutes of basketball these days. And I know a lot of us, I hear you in the comments, I do the same. We try. We turn on a game, a good matchup. We try to get hyped about it. And then after the first quarter, we see in about like 35 threes between the two teams. No defense, no boxing out, no effort, just a 3-point contest. A bunch of complaining to the refs. Like, all these triggers eventually prompt me to just say, screw it, and I turn it off. And I end up watching classic basketball instead.
Now, you do got the occasional NBA old head that absolutely respects the game that it is right now. I love listening to Kevin Garnett talk about hoops because he is also critical when necessary, but he'll let you know so-and-so player is an absolute dog. Jason Tatum is an absolute dog, and I don't think that's just because he's a Boston legend. Jason Tatum's an absolute dog. Where I could turn on someone else talk about the Boston Celtics, and he's the softest superstar in the history of basketball. Are we talking about hoops or are we not? That's why I love players like Allen Iverson, who doesn't do a lot of appearances, but every time you put a microphone in front of Allen Iverson, he is giving praises to the younger generation. Luka, Shea, Bron, they played against each other for years, but they just give all the amount of love, and I love that type of coverage. You can talk all the trash you want about Reggie Miller and the way he covers the game or him as an analyst, but damn it, he loves basketball.
Yeah, he does.
And I feel that when I listen to him talk about a game. I feel the same way about a Jamal Crawford, who hasn't done a ton of broadcast media, but when I watch him cover a Knicks game, he's out there enjoying, you can tell they have this love for the game.
Okay, but you could also, if you watch the broadcast, but then you watch them on a podcast later on, you could see the difference. They're actually speaking their mind on the podcast, talking about the overall product, while when they're broadcasting, as opposed to podcasting, when they're broadcasting, they're trying to promote the product because they're working for the product.
We're not these stuck-up, bitter old heads about the new generation. The reality is, things evolve. It always has evolved. Every single era of basketball is different than the last.
Yep.
That doesn't make this era any worse than any of the other ones.
That's not true. Both statements can be true. The game will constantly evolve, but it could have evolved to a point where it's not an enjoyable sport anymore. Both statements can be true, okay? Not just one.
It is just so ridiculous to me. And one of my least favorite talking points that people have, and damn it, I've seen it on TV, I've heard it in the barbershop, when people talk about everybody playing the same way, blows my mind.
Really?
You cannot convince me that the Boston Celtics, the Atlanta Hawks, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Utah Jazz, the Minnesota Timberwolves all have the same style of basketball.
Pretty much.
Are we being real? How many games are you really watching? And it really blows my mind when a guy like Draymond Green says it because, damn it, you've been in the league for 15 years.
Yeah, throw the Golden State Warriors and the Suns in that conversation, and a bunch of other teams too. They're all playing the same style of basketball, the same format, the same scheme. Especially offensively and defensively. Oh man, I can't stand this constantly switching, going under defensive schemes that they're running, especially in a league where everyone is just firing off threes. Why are you going under the screens? I don't know. I can never understand it. However, if you would have listed some outliers like Denver, San Antonio prior to Wemby getting injured, even possibly the Knicks, those three teams, I'd say, were playing a little bit of different style of basketball. The Lakers to a certain extent, But outside of that, pretty much the entire league is playing that one style. And it started with the Warriors, but now it's this weird version of what the Warriors were doing, because even the Warriors knew not everyone should be shooting these threes. You know what I mean? But now we've gotten way further where literally all five are bombing threes.
You've been in the league for 15 years and you play for a team that has a very unique style of play. But everybody plays the same?
Yeah.
One of the things Draymond Green said over the All-Star break was talk about the homogenization of the NBA, how everybody's running the same play. And of course, he's talking about the pick and roll. The pick and roll has been dominating the league for 20 plus years. Basically, since the triangle offense kind of died out after Tex Winter and the Chicago Bulls, six championships in 10 years or whatever, or 8 years. The triangle offense kind of died, other than when like Phil Jackson was a part of the Knicks. And the pick and roll became king. And then eventually it evolved even more. Well, now the high pick and roll evolved the game, where there was times where it was James Harden or Trae Young or Luka Doncic running high screen and roll. You have two guys in the corner, and that's their style of play. And granted, teams did run that way, but this is a 30-team league. The way Luka plays, the way Trae plays, the way James Harden plays, every team can't play like that. You know why? Because they don't have the fucking dogs of a ball handler that can make that an efficient offense. So when Draymond Green talks about the homogenization of basketball, it blows my mind. This is a real stat. Let me go to my notes.
Okay, before you do it, like, here's the thing. We're not making it up. If you talk to trainers, you know exactly what they're doing. They're doing the exact same thing because they're running off the same analytics. That's when the game changed, man. When we started running off of pure number crunching, everyone is coming to the same to the same conclusion based on the numbers, and they're running their team that way. So that's where the problem is with the argument here. I know you want to feel like they're different because they are different actual individuals per team. So there's going to be slight variations of what's happening on the court. But as far as the team's game plan, it's the same, dude.
Y'all know I watch a lot of basketball.
And we used to not be that way, by the way. Teams used to be structured based on the talent, right? So let's talk Michael Jordan real quick. Michael Jordan can do it all. Offensively, defensively, let's just stick with offense. Offensively, we know he can run ISO. He can do whatever the hell he wants, whenever he wants. He can handle a triple team. Problem is in the playoffs, if MJ's getting triple teamed all the time, what do we do about this? All right, so we build on that. Let's get him a couple of shooters. You know, we got him Paxton. Let's get him someone who can help him on the defensive end now, so he can focus. So Jordan can focus more of his energy on offense. We got him Scottie Pippen. We need some rebounding. We got him Horace Grant. All of these people are doing completely different jobs, built around the star himself. Now, we can't do that nowadays because stars tend to leave the team within a couple of years if they don't win a championship. So it's hard to build around an individual these days because you don't know if they're going to come or if they're going to stay or go. But that's how teams used to be built. It used to be about getting that one big star and then building around them. Now it's just about getting your shooters in line. How many shooters can we get out there on the floor at the same time? Rebounding, who cares? Defense doesn't matter because no one's doing it. Everyone just bomb threes.
Listen to a lot of broadcasts, and I listen to a lot of people that are way smarter than me talk about basketball. Here's a real stat. This is from this season. This season, the NBA is setting 65.4 ball screens per 100 possession, which is the lowest average in the second spectrum era. The second spectrum goes through the last 12 years. It's not like we have a 50-year sample size. So if Draymond Green is talking about the homogenization of basketball, that everybody's running the same thing, then that's the case from 12 years ago where everybody says the league was peak. It is the lowest that it has been in 12 years. And I feel that when I watch these games.
Yeah, but Draymond knows because Draymond is being trained in the exact same ways as well. You know, he's a pro. Like him or not, and I'm not a fan of Draymond, but he is a professional basketball player in the NBA, and he does know what they're telling him to do. And every young person who comes into the league, how they're training him. And if you see any of these trainings, you see exactly what they're doing. You know, they're training on the ball, on spot. You know, plant yourself, catch, shoot, catch, shoot. They're doing this stuff 1,000 times a day.
I feel it. I'm watching 4 to 5 games a night, and I'm
Ooh,
always
that's brutal.
seeing something different. Yes, the three-point ball is king. That is something that I cannot deny. But the way those three-pointers are generated objectively is just different.
You want to see some change in the NBA? Get rid of the three-point ball. Then you're going to get a whole bunch of creativity. Everyone is going to be figuring it out until the analytics know what the hell is going on. Everyone is going to scramble with creativity just to see what the best methods of scoring are without that damn three-point line. It would be brilliant. It would be a renaissance of basketball.
Some teams is doing it off ball screen. Some teams is doing with dribble penetration kick out. Some teams are doing a dribble handoff. Some teams are running a high screen and roll, hoping that you drop and so Jason Tatum can shoot the three. This league is as diverse as it ever has been.
Yeah, but what's the result of all those things you listed? I'm willing to bet 9 out of 10 of those is a three-point ball.
If you don't believe me, well, we could go to the numbers, baby. Here's an article written by my guy Mark Shayer, and it's a guy I think I referenced on this channel.
And by the way, I'm not trying to be a prick here. Obviously, there's a big age gap. He started watching in 2003. I started watching it in about 1988, 87. There's a big age gap here. Okay, so he got into the league as the peak, the golden era was ending, and then he's seen the drop off. So I got to live the golden era for, let's see, 10, 20, about 22 years.
Our NBA team's playing the same. This is from the beginning of the beginning of this season, November 21st, 2024. Now, here's one of the graphs: percentage of time in each play style, and this stems from 2004 to 2025. And what you will see is, yes, this season, and as we continue to evolve, spot up three-point shooting or spot up shooting in general is higher than it was in 2004, 2005. Transition offense, and that's the thing I want to talk about, is higher. But some things that were just not great watches is gone. I'm sorry. I listen. Michael Olowokandi getting a post touch is something I don't want to see in 2024. Who's the NBA equivalent? Alex Len getting a post touch for the Lakers is something that I'm happy is cut out of basketball. So with it being lower, I think that's good for the game.
I don't think so though, because that's the majority of the space on a basketball court is inside of that 3-point line. Because that's the goal, is to get closer to the hoop. So you dish the ball into the post. It doesn't matter who's catching it. Even if it's Luke freaking Longley, you dish the ball into the post to bring the defense inside. Now, if you bring the defense inside and your scheme is to get some threes, great. You know, have your people spot up and get ready. You know, it's on that post player to make a move to force some weak side help, and then to make that read. You know, find the open shooter based off of the help that comes. If the help doesn't come, well, you might be screwed. Get the ball back out. But that inside-out style of basketball always makes sense because the goal is to get closer to the basket, not further away from the basket. That takes less skill and less effort. You know, dribble the ball up the court. We all know when you're tired, okay? It's always been a thing in basketball. When you're tired, you stop driving to the basket, you're going to do a pull-up three because you're exhausted. And you know you got to go play defense. Now, fresh, we're talking within the first minute of the game, everyone's at full power, pull-up threes. It's different. We're supposed to play inside and out. That's how you start it. You know? You spread out as the game goes on.
And one of the things that we need to recognize here is this transition, because this transition frequency being higher now than it was in 2014 and 2004 is one of the reasons why we do get so many spot up 3-point shots. The game is faster and defenses have to react faster, which means that if I'm getting back on defense, it's impossible for to cover everything. And because of that, I may give up an open three.
It's also, it's a low effort shot. Okay. It's preferring the 3 over a 2. That's what's causing this. And this is based on the analytics. Once again, I'm not blaming the players for this. Analytics dictate shoot the 3. So what are they doing? The second they have any clearance, even if there's only been like 4 seconds that have been, you know, there's 20 seconds left on the shot clock, it doesn't matter. The data dictates to shoot the 3 first. So if you have even the slightest window to shoot that three, the players are told to shoot that three.
That's the full thing. When you talk about teams playing the same, what is this? What is this? This right here shows you the percentage of teams' possessions and how they generate their offense. So, for example, the Golden State Warriors are number one in points generated through a cut. When if you watch the Warriors with their split action and everything, you see that. You see the same thing with the Denver Nuggets because Nikola Jokic is a passing wizard and he gets so much attention.
And once again, that also that's good. You mentioned the Nuggets because I agree. The Nuggets are probably the most unique team in the league right now, and that's mainly because they're basing a lot of their offense on their star. This is kind of old school, and I like it because of that. So Jokic is playing from the inside. He's playing kind of like Sabonis, not current Sabonis, but Papa Sabonis used to play in the 90s. All right, get the ball on the inside, have him make his reads. You know, if he's got a one-on-one, he'll take it in the post. If he gets some weak side help, he's making that pass. Lately, we've got Westbrook as a hell of a cutter. So Westbrook will kind of do a give and go, pass to Jokic, cut in, and at that point, you know, that's where a lot of these cut points are coming from with Denver because we've either got a double team on Jokic or we've got a guard who's fast enough to blow by his defender and get into the lane. That's the opposite of the outside in 3-point ball that we're seeing from almost every other team in the league. Very cool.
Atlanta Hawks at the bottom of the list, you have teams like the 76ers or the Charlotte Hornets. You have teams like the Utah Jazz that because they don't have much individual on-ball creation, they get a lot of their points or a lot of their possessions and with an off screens. Or you get handoffs and isolation, which makes sense if you watch the Boston Celtics. A lot of times it is Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown cooking their man, getting past the first defender, crashing the defense and kicking out to a three-pointer or going up for a finish. These numbers, if you're watching these games, it make a lot of sense. If you watch... Let me get this over here. If you watch the Memphis Grizzlies, you recognize that this is the fastest team in basketball. They are dramatically different. They are like, I don't even know, 10 percentage points, 12 percentage points better in transition or more frequent in transition than the Minnesota Timberwolves. You trying to explain to me that that's an homogenization of our game? No way, bro. No way.
No, there's nothing wrong with transition points. That's always a good thing. Fast break points, let's go for it.
And
but you got to understand, there's a lot of teams in there. There's a lot of teams in the league. And out of what you said, I pretty much can dictate that there's maybe 2 teams that are unique. You know what I mean? So if we were able to pinpoint that every single team was unique in their own way, and I'm talking drastically unique, not just a slight variation, then I'd be with you on this. But I'm just not. Because we're talking about a couple of outliers, and then everybody else is playing one style.
I do every single offseason. I've been very candid about this. When the offseason hits, I still want my NBA fix, right? And what I usually do is I go back and watch old games, whether it be from the latest I really go is the mid-'90s because I can't do 6 pixels and try. Is that Julius Erving? I can't do that. So I go mid-'90s and I just watch random NBA games. And luckily for me, a lot of NBA games are just on YouTube, full stop. You can watch the full game. You can watch the full series between the Denver Nuggets and the Dallas Mavericks from 2009. I've done that. It's just all on YouTube. And if you want to go more recent, the last like 10 to 15 years are just on NBA League Pass. So like I can get a bunch of different eras of basketball and I watch all of those eras of basketball. And guess what? I enjoy them all. I'm not one of those people that's going to compare the way the 90s played to the 2000s because I recognize the evolution is very important every single sport that we play. I'm not a huge football guy. I watch football. I care about the NFL, but I would definitely never create a YouTube channel about the NFL because I'm not that locked in. And I tend to like to at least know a little bit of what I'm talking about when I be making videos and stuff.
Same here. I love football, but I'm not in the know nearly enough to do it.
But I recognize that the game has evolved so much since when I was a kid where it felt like the running back was the most important player outside of the quarterback. Nowadays, you don't even draft running backs in the first couple rounds. They just get replacement guys and unless you have like a Saquon or something, you just get replacement guys to do their thing. The game has evolved in, and I'll never see an old-timey player. I'll never see Peyton Manning be like, back in my day, because they recognize that the game is always going to evolve. And I think that nostalgia is one of the most dangerous things when it comes to sports, and I guess media in general, whether it be through reading or whether it be through TV or movies. Nostalgia kills a lot of things, and I am very very guilty of looking at things with my nostalgia lens, because at the end of the day, you fall in love with something, and that's the thing you want to see all the time. 2003 was like the dead era of basketball. That's right when Bron was coming in. This is post Michael Jordan. Things were not good for the NBA, but when I became a fan, that's what I loved, right? Because
Yeah,
people are
but
very
the ratings were still awesome, though. We were still all tuning in to watch that basketball, even though Jordan left and it left a hole in our hearts. We had other players, man. We had T-Mac, we had Kobe, we had, up and coming Carmelo and LeBron, D Wade. It was still a wonderful league. We had Vince Carter, Jay Kidd out there, like Tim Duncan, you name it. Like we were all, and I'm thinking about all these teams, and I'm thinking about these players, and I'm thinking about the teams they played for and how different they played. It was still a fantastic era. The only problem was the scoring was so low. And I understand the league said, okay, let's see if we can bump up the scoring. We just overcorrected. That's all. It was a massive overcorrection. We needed to bump up the scoring by like 7 to 10 points a game, not by 40 points a game. Now it's all watered down.
nostalgic about their eras of basketball. They use that as a way to say the league is not the same, basketball is not the same, and they need to get back to this. People that say that the league has lost creativity, I swear to you, I question if they actually watched the game when they said they watched the game. This is Cleaning the Glass. It is a site that I've used a ton in the last 5 years of me covering this sport. And the furthest they go back in history is 2003, 2004. You can look at the league average. This is offensive shooting efficiency, frequency, my goodness. In 2003, 2004, 31% of field goal attempts happened at the rim.
I'm going to preface this by saying this is right when hand checking was removed, right before. I believe it was 2004, 2005 when hand checking was removed. So scoring is going to be a slug at this point. And it was well-earned points.
And you get the
which is why when Kobe averaged 35, it was a big freaking deal.
Where half of the shots attempted this season, almost 100,000 shots attempted, was in the mid-range area, 18% from three.
Yep.
Right.
Variety. Look, yeah, you've got a variety here. You know, it's not just from one spot. And of course, mid-range is going to be key because that's the biggest space on the floor offensively. So outside of that, yeah, you've got your at the rim. That makes sense. You've got your short mids because it's hard to get in that deep unless you're like Tim Duncan or something. And after that, like I would honestly combine these two, and that's what the majority of the shots are. Yeah, all threes, 18%. Oh man, I miss it. Threes were a big deal. Threes were something you took when you were wide open, or if you're down and you need to cut the lead.
Team like the Minnesota Timberwolves, where 65% of the shots that they took in 2003, 2004 were mid-rangers, 40% of them being classified as long mid-rangers, right? Mm-hmm. And this is what always bothers me when people talk about these eras of basketball. If I go all the way down to 2003, and if I go to their roster and I say, hey, show me the frequency of each individual player, I could live with Latrell Sprewell, Kevin Garnett, Sam Cassell taking mid-range jump shots. Those are good NBA players. No way in hell you trying to convince me that the golden era of basketball is when Keith McLeod was taking 50% of his shots from long two. Cut it out, man. Cut it out,
Why?
bro.
A lot of people made a career out of that. Kevin Garnett, Haslam, you know. What's his name? Patrick Ewing used to take a lot of long twos. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm seeing a difference here though, because statistics are going to justify how you feel. However, back when we were watching it, we didn't give a damn about these stats or these numbers. All we knew was whether what we saw on the court was enjoyable or not. Is it engaging or not? Are we seeing effort or not? These are the things that mattered, because if there's no effort going in there, if they're not putting on the effort, and we're not seeing a real serious competition, why are we spending our free time watching it? It's not enjoyable for us. If they're not invested, we're not invested. And that's what it's come to. But back then, we weren't looking at these numbers. We didn't have access to it, nor did we give a damn about these numbers. All we wanted to know, was this a good competition or not? You know, worth my time or not? And lately, I don't care what the stats show, it's not. And it's not just me. It's not just because I'm an old head. There's a lot more young people out there than old heads like me. But why aren't you guys watching the games? If I'm wrong, why aren't you guys watching the games? I guess I'm not wrong.
The NBA has evolved to the point where the random role players no longer going on pin down long mid-range twos, but instead those being replaced with threes. It is the same type of shot, just 6 feet deeper. And that's the reason the league is bad, because now guys on the same level of Keith McLeod can't take long mid-ranges. That blows my mind, because the greatest players in basketball, they're still taking mid-ranges. You know why? Because that is a good shot for them. That is not a good shot for Keith McLeod.
But a 3-ball is definitely not a better shot for him.
Not a good shot from player number 8 on your favorite team.
But why is players 1 through 12 now shooting threes? That's the hardest shot. That's the furthest away from the basket shot. So why does it make more sense to shoot it from even further now? If you're saying that the high 2, the high mid, is not a sensible shot, then why is a freaking 3-ball a more sensible shot? I don't get that. Other than the fact that it's worth one more point, wouldn't you want those guys to get in deeper, closer to the basket before taking that shot, if they're not skilled shooters?
It just isn't. So the NBA has evolved to the point where that is not a shot that teams want to take anymore. Do we want to see the shot go in or not? As NBA fans, do you want to see the ball go into the basket or not?
I want to see the shot earned, the points earned, which means I want to see real defense on the player before that shot goes off. I don't want to see wide open shots all day. You know? That's not entertainment. The entertainment of seeing Jordan score 69 points against the Cleveland Cavaliers wasn't because he was open. That would be boring. Who would want to watch that? That's just a shooting exhibition. It was because he was triple teamed the whole time. He had 3 guys surrounding him, and the idea was, how the hell is he pulling this off? You know, he's doing it from the inside, he's doing it from the mid-range, he's doing it from the 3-point line, and then to see him hit the open reads, you know, pass to wide open 3-point shooters, specialists like Paxton, you know, that was exciting, because it's a question of, how did he do this? Anybody can hit a wide open shot, man. If anybody can hit a wide open shot. That's why it's not as special and unique as it used to be. You used to get a cat like MJ in the league, and it was just like, how the hell is he doing this? I can't do that. Now everyone is just shooting threes. We're all looking at it and going, yeah, I can hit that. I can hit that 40%. Why not? You know, especially if that's all I do all day. I don't have to put that much effort on defense. I can hit that shot 40%. Give me a month. Give me a month to train. I'll hit that damn shot 40% at 42 years old. No problem. No problem. And if I get fouled, I'm still about 90% at the line. So it is what it is. If we're talking about 90s ball, me at 42 years old, no way could I play that shit. No way. I'd get broken. I'd get busted up so fast in that league. Now, I'm like, yeah, I might be able to produce a little bit. It's just a vast difference. But I hope it makes sense, because I'm going to kind of shut up from this point on of this video. But that's what it is. It's the effort and the amount of how much were those points earned. I think back to Luka Doncic, it was the last season or the season before, when he put up like 70-something points. I was excited when I heard about it, and then I watched it. And I was like, oh. Because he was not, I would say about 8 out of 10 shots were non-contested. I was like, oh. Some of them were awesome, the ISO plays, but the majority were uncontested. So it's just, it doesn't have the same flair of like a player earning it.
Because if you want to revert back to this, efficient offenses will not exist. They just won't. And I hate to make Keith McLeod like this, the martyr of the video. I don't know anything about him. Other than the fact that on those long mid-rangers that we're talking about, he shot 28%. So 53% of his shots were from long two, and he shot 28% of them.
Yeah, he was probably in there mainly for defensive and rebounding purposes then.
And they went in. But hey.
Because once again, back then, people had unique traits, and those traits were utilized. Not everyone was a three-point shooter. Some people actually just, like, look at Dennis Rodman. The guy was out there to rebound, play defense, and drive the other team insane. Do it. Try not to foul out. Try not to get two texts, Dennis. Go in there. You know, if he was doing the same thing Michael Jordan was doing, and all five people were doing the same thing Michael Jordan was doing, the team would not work. It wouldn't have been functional. You need individuals doing the thing that makes them special as individuals.
The NBA has lost its juice, and everybody plays the same. Cut it out, man. It bothers me, right? Now, if we look at those same exact stats from nowadays, we talk about league averages, right? Nowadays, we come to frequency, 31% of shots are coming at the rim, which is the exact same as 2000. That's almost down to.
That's what I see. Short mid, long mid, all mid, 29%. Yep. So 29% versus 38%. That's all I care about. Is what it is.
To the decimal point, the same amount of rim pressure we have.
In here, sorry guys. In here, we have a bump and grind. It's exciting to see because you got body on body, real defense. So if those points are scored, cool, man. I enjoy it. I really do. In fact, I used to enjoy Tatum and Booker, and I'm sure I'm leaving out a couple others, a lot more when I saw them in the mid-range because they were very efficient in there. Now I just see them bombing threes. So these shots, 38% of all shots in the game are pretty much non-contested. That's why it's not exciting. Now you go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Today is what they had in 2003, 2004. Mid-rangers from 50% is down to 30%. Now, what you will see is long mid-rangers don't exist as much as they used to. But when we will do this in a second, I'll show you long mid-rangers do exist for good players. Now they're being replaced with short mid-ranges, which is the floater area. This is where Jaren Jackson Jr., Jalen Brunson, some of the great players we have in basketball, that floater area is their bread and butter. And now we take 39%, rounding up a little bit, 39% of our shots from three.
Yep.
So here are the numbers on those long mid-rangers: DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, Chris Middleton, Jamal Murray, Dennis Schroeder, Paolo Banchero, Brandon Ingram, Paul George, and we're going to cut off there.
Shout out DeMar DeRozan for actually playing different. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. More people like this, please. At least one player like this per team, just to mix it up.
Kevin Porter, I didn't realize he was taking that many long twos. Kevin Durant, so on and so forth. What you recognize from the top percentage of people when it comes to mid-range jump shots, these are the guys you want taking mid-range jump shots because at the end of the day, they're just bucket getters, right?
Yeah, KD shooting a lot of threes nowadays too. But let me see. No, he's 57% still from the mid. Okay. It seems like it feels a little different to me watching, but okay.
Shout out to Dennis Schroeder. They're just bucket getters at the end of the day. So you feel comfortable with them taking the shot. Now, going back to 2003, these are the top people taking mid-rangers. Bimbo Coles, Omar Cook, Christian Laettner. Shout out to Bulls legend Eddie Robinson, Sean Rooks, Jabari Smith Sr., Reese Gaines, Tom Gugliotta, Jacques Vaughn. Look at this, bro. Look at it. This is insane to me. The average role player took hella mid-range jump shots.
Yeah.
It's not the way we play the game anymore. And I think that's better for the game, bro.
Okay. And listen, I have my opinion, you have your opinion, but you like stats a lot, right? Obviously, look at this video. You love stats. The viewership numbers backed up my opinion. And the viewership numbers are decimating your opinion. So what's the thing? I get that you like it, but the majority doesn't. So we have a problem whether you want to admit it or not. There's a problem. It just happens that you like this product, and that's okay. but the majority don't. So we still have a problem to fix.
I've never even heard the name Omar Cooks. Oh, he wasn't in the league for long. He shot, what did I say? Omar Cooks shot 60. Oh, it was only 18 attempts, but 69% of his shots were long twos, and he was out of the league in 1 year. There's no NBA player right now that would be able to do that, dog. You getting your ass benched, bro. You'll never play another second.
And back then, if you were just bombing threes and not playing defense, you would be benched. So times have changed. They really have. The game starts with defense first. That's what I've learned. That's what I always believed anyways, but I've seen it firsthand now. The game starts with defense. If the defensive intensity is not there, it's over. Can you imagine the NFL with no defense? And I know the league is doing what they can to diminish defense, and I'm not happy about it. Can you imagine if they just didn't give a damn? Oh, just be Hail Mary touchdowns over and over and over again because the defense isn't there. It starts with defense, you know, and then then the offense has to figure out what to do based on that defense. But we're not starting with defense anymore. We did in the 90s, we did in the 2000s. Those times are gone.
The big talking point is about the defense. And granted, I can attest to on an average 82 game season game, defenses are not going to feel as intense as what you remember. But matter of fact, let's go do some research. Here's how you know I be in these trenches watching these games because I just referred to this whole series and I just found it just like that. In 2009, Western Conference semifinals, Mavericks versus Nuggets. In this game, Dirks dropped 33 of 16. Melo dropped 31 and 8. Battle of two NBA legends. And
16
you remember
rebounds from Dirk. Hell yeah. That's hella effort.
Defenses being better back then. And I think one of the realities of the defenses being better is because the offenses look so slow and so
This
sad.
is 2009, by the way, so way past the many years past the point of prime defense.
Let's see. This is considered semi-transition. I want to get a possession where has a poor representation of this era of basketball. Again, I love this era as well. But look at the spacing on these teams. Objectively, it is easier to guard well when this is what the spacing looks like, right? And now, as we talk about the league being stretched further from the rim, there's a lot more open space for creators, so the defense is going to suffer from that. It just is.
The difference was body contact back then, no body contact anymore. So it's just it's a cat and mouse game. You have to chase the guy around the perimeter. And, you know, eventually that offensive player is probably going to get a wide open shot because he's going to beat you on the run. But there's no actual body contact, so the physicality's gone. And that's another thing that we complain about a lot is we want to see that bump and grind in basketball again. And that takes spacing being a little more compact than it is now.
This possession is funny. Eric Dampier sets a screen. He gets tripped. Lob situation didn't end up in a lob. If I'm not mistaken, this is the game that Eric Dampier got boomed on too by oh my God, who did he get dunked on by? Oh, it's gonna blow my mind. Anyway, here's another possession. Look how they're able to just collapse because of the spacing of the team. So you don't need to see that because I'm sure that you've seen games from this era. So yes, the defense was more intense because
that's the point. If you drive to the basket, the defense collapses on you. Now you have open looks for shooters or an open layup, depending on that read. Yes, 100% with what you're saying. Yeah.
It wasn't as, I don't know the word I'm looking for, advanced. The offenses just weren't as advanced, and so the defense, they were okay with just being this way. One thing you're going to recognize from this era is that some of the bad defenders across basketball very rarely got picked on in the same way that we see it today. I just watched the game, the Charlotte Hornets versus the Lakers, where LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, Nick Smith Jr. were going at Luka head. They would not be able to do that if this was 2009 and the spacing was that way because you had help on both sides. Nowadays, that help does not exist because LaMelo Ball can spread out to Miles Bridges, or Miles Bridges can spread out to LaMelo Ball. And you would just say, hey, we think that our back-end defense, whether it be Alex Len or whether it be Jackson Hayes, will be enough to deter my guy from the rim. We're okay with that being the shot versus it being a kick-out three for another person. Now, I'm recording this video while this game is going on, and trust me, I'm going to go back and watch it because this is a matchup I was really looking forward to. This is live. I just paused it. Now, I want to just see. I don't know what's going to happen on this possession because it's live. I just want to show you how much different it really is. There's a ball screen to get AJ in. Oh, this is with Ben Simmons on the floor, his second game with the team. Like, the spacing is just so much better. And that's even with Ben Simmons as a non-threat. Bogdanovich gets fouled. He gets fouled. Let's see the possession before that, though. This is good basketball. This is good basketball, man. How are y'all saying y'all don't like this product?
I don't know. I'm not seeing anything really. Screen.
Look at this. Good screen for Batum.
Three.
Gets an
Big surprise. 3.
open look from a Hall of Famer. How? It blows
Yeah,
my...
3. And, oh, man.
Look at this. Good screen for Batum. Gets an open look from a Hall...
All right, 3-point shot. 3-point shot, white jersey. 0 white jerseys in position for getting the rebound or boxing out. 1, 2, 3, 4 black jerseys in position to get the rebound. So it's do or die on the shot. Yeah, he makes it, but if he doesn't make it, that's a loss of possession right there. There is 0 chance any of these guys are going to get the rebound. Okay? It ain't happening. That's the problem. That's not smarter basketball.
Hall of Famer. How? It blows my... I don't understand it.
I know you don't. It's okay.
And again, that's coming from me that can be critical of this game. It is very, very far from being perfect. But damn it, y'all be acting like this is the worst thing imaginable when I feel like this is the most diverse level of talent we've ever seen. The highest level of talent we've ever seen. And just the best hoops, man. And just the best hoops.
Why aren't people watching then?
3-point variance can make it seem a lot worse than what it is. Where a team can be super hot and hit 11 threes and a half while the other team hits 0, and now it's a 15 to 20 point lead going into halftime. I recognize that. And because of that, some teams can get stuck trying to play catch up, and the way you play catch up when you're down by that much is trying to spray threes as well. I understand that. But I do believe that, when people talk about the game being at a bad point when it comes to viewership or so on and so forth, there are a lot of factors, but one of the factors that stand out to me is the people that we have representing our game on the national level. If you do not care about basketball and this is your first time watching, or you're an average NBA fan, and the person before the game starts is telling you how much this game coming up is gonna suck, then most of the time you're probably gonna follow that opinion as well.
They haven't been doing that, though. Actually, they just started doing it because it's caught some steam now. So now, actually, mainstream media is talking about it. But for years, it wasn't happening. It was happening on the underground, like here on YouTube, that people were discussing the problems.
Or just starting games with a negative vision of what the NBA is, because that's what they have been told over and over again. And it's one of the reasons why I'm happy that there are other people with NBA rights this season. I'm curious to see what NBC's coverage looks like. I'm curious to see what Amazon's coverage looks like and the people that they bring on. I saw Amazon had Blake Griffin and Dirk as of today. That feels dope as hell. I can't imagine what type of stuff they're going to really cook up. And it could potentially change the way people interpret our league. Far from perfect, but I love the NBA.
Me too.
And I have yet to see or hear a valid opinion about why our league sucks. And if you have it, leave it in the comments section. Maybe you can convince me. But as somebody that watches every single night and have watched every single night for 10 years and every other night for 10 years before that, this league is great. This product could be better, but this league, for what it's worth, is...
Okay, the video's about to cut off right there. You know, it's funny because I can relate to this a little bit, not with basketball, but with other media. You know, I have liked things that was obvious that I was in a minority of. I'm thinking back to Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Okay? I watched that movie. I freaking love Indiana Jones. I love George Lucas. I loved it. All right, I watched the movie like 4 or 5 times, and I'm like, great, more Indiana Jones, fantastic. And then later on, I found out the reviews were terrible, and I'm like, damn. All right, I guess I'm the only one, you know? But if anybody was out there critiquing the movie and saying why they didn't like it, I'm like, okay, no, that's valid. That's cool. I still enjoy it. But the thing is, I wasn't trying to change their mind. You know what I mean? Because it's okay if I like something that is... well, it's deemed shitty to the public. I gotta admit it. The most recent Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, I freaking like that movie too. You know, and people were ripping all over that movie. But you know, like sometimes it's okay to admit that, like, hey, I like something that I apparently sucks. You know what I mean? But to me, this is freaking great. You know, I'm sure there's some video games I can't think about it off the top of my head that I felt the same way about. But there's definitely movies. You know, I still love Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and people rip that thing to shreds. But I still love it. I don't care if I'm in a minority. It is what it is. You know, there are people out there who love The Last Jedi, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and I can't relate to them at all. But if they like it, they like it. You know, that's one of those cases where it's like, well, you like something that's, you know, critically deemed as crappy. And I think that's just what the case is here with Kenny for real. He is in a minority of this when it comes to basketball. He loves it. I can see it. He's not lying. He loves the current NBA, and that's awesome. But the majority of the people don't. So just don't be surprised when the company, the business itself, starts making turns and forks in the road in order to meet what the mass population wants. Because that's what it is. It's an entertainment industry, and they want to entertain the most possible people because that's how they make their money. You know? So no matter what you say and no matter how much you like it, they're still going to have to make some changes if they want to survive as a business. And that's what the NBA is. It's a massive business. So we're going to see what they're going to do about it. Mainstream media is talking about it, which means that's usually the green light go ahead, that like something is in the works. Because until then, they're usually told to shut up about that. You know, don't damage the product. But now they're on board, so let's see what direction they go. I hope it's in a positive direction, but we'll see. And nah, man, I mean, dude, it's awesome you love the game. I love the game too. I hope you always love the game. But I hope you're able to whatever direction the NBA goes next. I hope you're able to adapt to it and not just get like so hung up on this current style of basketball, because this style of basketball has been the worst offender when it comes to success or fail. We took the product, it took the product from its peak in viewership, and it sunk to the ditches. So they're gonna have to change the style. Then that there's nothing else you can do, unless we just want to say goodbye to the NBA forever, and hopefully another league comes up to meet the demand. But I'm thinking the NBA just fixes it. You know what I mean? But it's going to have to change because of that. And hopefully you're down with that change. Hopefully I'm down with that change. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to look like. But yeah, when numbers are plummeting like that, you have to take action. In any business, any company, that's just how it goes. You have to take action and start listening to what the critics are. And because, especially the ones who are critiquing out of love. You know, some are just hating just for the sake of hating. Don't pay too much mind to them. But the ones who actually love basketball and love the NBA and want to see what's best for the NBA and want to see it succeed and thrive as though it's like our child, yeah, listen to us, because we love them. We love the game. We just want to see it succeed again. Anyways, with that, man, young man, good video. Even though obviously we disagree on all of it, I love the passion. I love that you know, you're speaking about what you truly feel, and it doesn't matter what other people are gonna say. Good on you for that, because I'm the same way, and we just happen to be on other sides, opposite ends of this fence. But it doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean you're right. It just means we both have our opinions, and time will tell. Anyways, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Once again, the channel Kenny for Real is linked down below in the description if you want to check it out. Seems like a really cool young man. But I'm out with that one. I was planning on doing an After Dark, but I had no idea how long this video was going to run. I'm thinking it's at about 40 minutes or something by this point. So I'm going to ditch out on the After Dark tonight. But thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. And hit that bell notification if you want to get notified for tomorrow's drop. Everyone, peace out.